everybody, and welcome to the grief process. So we're pretty much done with this series today and tomorrow. So the question for today: is it okay to cry and become angry? Is it normal? So just as okay to cry, just as okay to become angry. All of these things are very important because when you do these things, you're releasing a lot of emotions and feelings that you're having. You're angry, you're releasing a lot of emotions and feelings that you're having. You don't want to keep this stuff inside because it's going to really hurt you in the long run. And what I encourage you to do is just let it out. Don't even think about it. Hey, if you don't feel comfortable doing it in public, go into a bathroom, your car, or somewhere where you can just let a cry, anger, or something, because you're going to get frustrated, you're going to get angry, you're going to get tired. And you get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. And when you get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again, you get to a place you're like, you know what? The world don't seem to understand. The world don't understand what I'm going in through the day in and tomorrow. Get up, get out, get some fresh air. If you're not heart and mind is not into it, that's something that nobody can force you to do. People can tell you get up, get dressed, and they just be forcing you to do that. But if you are in a very dark place, seeking support system, seeking counseling, dealing with somebody, dealing about severe depression and severe anxiety and suicidal thoughts, those things come to rest. And I'm going to actually share that content at the end of tomorrow's presentation because a lot of people suffer from this day to day. Somebody right now starting the grief process. They don't know which way to turn, which way to go, which way to do. At the time, the moment, family and friends, they're there, and all of a sudden, people go back to their lives. That's how the world works. We're on something for maybe a few days, and we're back on something. We're on something new. But for people with grief, it's an ongoing cycle. It's no expiration date. It's no, we're going to talk about something. Let's talk about what happened last week, or let's talk about what happened yesterday. That's not how grief works. And those who are in the community like I am, it's very recommend that you continue to talk to people, continue to speak life into people's lives as they speak life into you. You may be okay today, tomorrow may be a complete shipwreck. You just don't know how you are from day to day. And this is why okay and being angry is completely normal in the part of grief. You can be angry, you can be upset, you can be frustrated, all these emotions, the memories that you have had with folks come out. And those who never experienced and those who handle grief differently wouldn't understand what you're feeling. They're talking, oh, get over it, or you're going to stay strong. Maybe what works for you doesn't work for everybody else. When somebody say, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm all that, no, you're not good, no, you're not fine, none of that. Let's just be honest, you're not. You're not fine, you're not good. That's just a cover up to keep somebody out of your business. And most people are very protective because they're not sure or are afraid to let people in their world. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at a time right now that grief surfaces up every day. Somebody just died. Somebody got in an accident. Something happened. And we have to face it. And a lot of times people don't want to face it. We want to tune our mind into something else. But if it hits you and it hits you like a drop of a dime, say something. It's a lose situation. It's a woo and a woe situation because it's ongoing day in and day out. And you have to understand the matter of it. Most people don't ever recover from it. And that leads into a dark place where they don't start to share their emotions, start sharing their feelings. There's a problem that can lead to something severe, or either harming other people or even harming themselves. So we have to watch out for those times of those who are in that severe grief. That can really be bad. Bring back joy in your life. This can apply to everybody because a lot of people may not agree to this question. They'd be like, hey, what I'm going to agree back, try to bring back joy in my life, the one I love and care for is not here, so when I'm going to have joy back in my life. These are the negative thoughts across the process of grief and what people say and how they feel. And those thoughts come to their mind day in and day out, and those who have experienced like I have had those thoughts. Literally. And you're like, why would I want to bring that joy back in my life? All I see is rain clouds. My life is not the same. I'm a complete failure. I'm a complete nobody. I don't love myself. I don't care about how I dress, how I smell. You get to that place. And I'm telling you, when you get to that place, you really start to minimize yourself as a person. You really start to look below yourself. And when you look below yourself, you're like, man, listen, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. I got to pull myself out of it. Some of them just don't care. They used to it. And their mindset is the way their mindset. That's just the way it is. And I encourage you to bring back joy in your life. Because I feel that our loved ones will want us to be happy. Our loved ones want us to have a fulfilling and amazing life for ourselves. They don't want us to be in this rut that we're in. And that's something to think about. If we could spend that day just to hear what our loved ones have to say to us, you'll be surprised. The real result about what they're going to say. It's going to hurt. You're going to cry. And I'm speaking like in a spiritual perspective. How would that would look like if they come and talk to you for that moment or that day, you'll be excited. But just go back and think in your mind, what would they tell you about bringing back joy in your life? What would they say to you? What would be some of the things you can think about, the conversations you may have had over the years, over the months, over the days, weeks, whatever the situation may be. Think about it and go back and reflect to that. What would my loved ones say to me for me to bring back joy in my life? What kind of direction and sense of wisdom would they embed into me now at the age I'm at right now? Now, this one's going to get a little dark. There's some who have dealt with grief since they were a little baby. And they wouldn't know what their loved ones would say to them because they never had a conversation with them. This is where this one is kind of a tongue twister. What do they do in terms of handling that? If they were connected with somebody who was like a mentor, or somebody who influenced them in a way that kind of give them some insight on what to do and how to do it, yes. But if you're in a state where you have grief all your life and you never had anybody you really close to, like a big mama or a granddaddy or uncle or any of those that kind of embed any good wisdom, and if you don't have any kind of memories of things being taught to you, that can be the most difficult situation by far, because you never had a good support system in your life for you to kind of push through these little obstacles and challenges that you're facing right now as you're an adult, and even as a teenager, and even as a young child. So you don't know where to go and what to do. This is why I recommend getting connected to a support group and counseling and reaching people in that capacity. And young kids can support young kids, teenagers can support them, and back and forth, so they can support each other and kind of help each other. And everybody needs somebody to talk to. Everybody needs somebody to kind of latch on to give them a word of wisdom and a word of encouragement, something to kind of help them get through life. And we all need that in our life. I do, and anybody else do. Because we have to remind ourselves that, hey, we're here to help each other. We're here to give each other advice. We need to take at least 5-10 minutes out of our day just to understand. We need to understand what this really looks like about bringing back joy in our lives. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get rescued because nobody really noticed that they were hurting, or noticed that they were in pain or in distress, or all these different things, because there's so many people out here right now that have not honestly seen or have anybody come in their life to embed that in them. And it's sad because nobody reached them, or they wasn't afraid to open up, and they know how many, so many people who take their own life because nobody could see them. Nobody knew that they were going through that. Because they never spoke out and articulate what they were going through because they felt like nobody loved them and they felt like nobody cared. And there's so many people who would have still been here if somebody would have brought back joy back in their lives. But when you're in a place where you have the wrong kind of folks, or whatever the situation may be, you don't have anybody to just go out there and reach you or save you. And that's really hurtful. Okay, everybody? But that's just a lot of scenarios to think about grief, because so many people grieve in different elements, and people suffer in so many different ways. And why I'm talking about this is very important because it's an ongoing battle. Every day, somebody's dealing with this. Some have turned to drugs, alcohol, substance, you name it. Addiction to sex, or whatever the situation. It's a lot. But they have came to be addicted to certain things. And you know, it's hurtful to see folks go through that. And life will do that to you. It will throw curves at you that you didn't even expect. And you're asking yourself, how am I functioning? Or how did this person not reach out? Did people not hear what they were saying? It's a lot to kind of just pinpoint. And how can I relate to anybody? Because I'm a person of understanding. I'm a person that likes to listen now. A person that can kind of pinpoint certain things. I may not have experienced it in my own life, but I have been around people that I have come in contact with that have showed me, and I seen it with my own eyes, and just to sit there and just observe them and say, hey, I may not can relate to what you're going through, but I'm willing to be a listening ear and to understand and kind of give you a sign of wisdom. That's the kind of person I am. I gave you a little bit of insight on Friday, but that's just me. I can understand and listen and give you a word of enlightenment, or I can point you in the right direction to somebody that can. That's who I am, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, everyone have an amazing and a wonderful Monday. My name is Mr. Johnson. I'll be back on to give you a heart-to-heart of the webinar of the grief process. I'll be back on tomorrow for the why, and then the mental exercise on True Solitude 1000. Have an amazing and a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you all later.